Well, good morning all. I hope you had a wonderful week and a great weekend. Time flies. It goes so quickly. So what did I write about yesterday? I wrote about friends and how when we're thinking about what's not going right, we're just looking within ourselves. We're not looking outside of things. And it does mean looking outside of what we are thinking at that particular time. Behind you, you might be able to see I've got 2 t-shirts there. What are they relevant to? They are all things that, for various reasons, I was involved in. RADA, as you probably know, is where actors go to train to become actors. The other t-shirt that you can just see a little bit of in the background was a sponsored firewalk I did for a local charity that has a hospice for people with terminal things wrong with them, and it wasn't specifically cancer, it could be in any number of things. So why did I choose to put these up? To remind you that time doesn't stand still. I've talked about time recently. So when we have these negative thoughts, it's to acknowledge them and look beyond it. Somebody I was talking to yesterday said that she was finding it very difficult to get motivated to do something. And sometimes instead of looking at the bigger picture, we look at the smaller step at that moment. So in that split second, you can change how you think. And if you change how you think, you then change how you feel about a situation. It's been my life's ambition since I took on this house last year, not to go out and buy new things where I could find something second hand. And yeah, that does mean sometimes I have to wait for things, but also it means that it teaches me patience, it teaches me humility to wait for these things to turn up. And yes, we all have days and times when the mind can tend to run riot if we don't acknowledge those thoughts and do something anyway. I do training every day for fitness for myself because I want to be as fit as possible, and it's not something I've done all my life. It's something I've realised that is important to do, and as you get older you can't necessarily do it in the same way as you would when you were younger. And also with wisdom of being older, you realise that there's more than one way of doing something. So you might be going to go and want to do a charity run, a bike ride for raising funds for something, and we all have days we don't feel like doing things, but that is the time that you've got to step through it. It does take time to do that, and it will come up and it will do that to you. The RADA t-shirt was given to me when I was working with a group of RADA actors, and I didn't speak in public in those days. I always was fascinated by it, and I was going along to some of their classes, and I was late one day, and by this time the head of the group had realised I'd got a sense of humour. So when I turned up late, he said to me, "Where the devil have you been?" So, well, I was just a bit behind this morning. Well, that's not good enough. You've done this before. You can do it. And that actually made me step up and go beyond what I thought I was capable of doing. I didn't stop and say, no, I can't do that. Well, I've been put in a position now to prove that I can do something. So that opportunity is up to me. Am I going to step up or am I going to run away from it? And I actually had great fun. I'll tell you a bit more about this story another day. So here's some ideas for you to think about how you can get beyond the days when you don't want to do something. Bye for now.